Hello and welcome to the Awaken the Giant in Your Heart cast. Today, our journey won't take you to awaken a great giant, but will take you to discover the gentle light hidden within your own heart. Have you ever felt that being a good person in today's world is so difficult? You try to do everything with honesty, but you watch people who use secret paths, who take advantage of you, succeed right before your eyes. You try to be kind and don't mean harm to anyone, but you face people who want to trample and hurt you. You try to be content with what you have, but social media is full of pictures of luxurious lives that whisper in your ear every day that you're not good enough. Sometimes, you might even think that being a good person it's a weakness. Having hierarchy is stupidity, and honesty is a disadvantage. You feel like a loser in the battlefield of life, right? But what if I told you that those feelings, not wanting to hurt anyone, not wanting to cheat anyone, not being envious of anyone even in times of hardship, are not weaknesses, but the clearest signs that your great merit and the past are working? You are a person of merit, even if you or the whole world doesn't know it yet. Today, we'll reveal a map of people with merit. We'll explore 15 characteristics of truly meritorious people. They're not just rich people, not just good people following the trend, but people with light and reason of wisdom in their hearts, according to the teachings of the Buddha. We'll join Samatha, a young man who feels his goodness is about to be defeated by the cruel world. His journey will reveal that the disadvantage he feels is actually his most valuable asset. Samatha is the owner of a small coffee shop that has changed with quality. He pays attention to every detail, from selecting coffee beans to brewing each cup. He's honest with his customers, uses the best ingredients, and never takes advantage of anyone. His shop is beloved by a small group of regular customers. But in the real world, goodness doesn't always translate to success. His shop is surrounded by large franchise coffee shops that use price-cutting strategies and aggressive marketing, while Samatha's shop he continued to use expensive organic coffee beans. Other shops cut costs with inferior ingredients, but they sold in larger quantities. His friend advised Samatha to lower the quality of his coffee beans a bit. No one would know. He could use the difference to do promotions. Look at those shops over there. They all do that. If he didn't adjust, he'd probably go bankrupt. Those words pierced Samatha's heart. He returned to the shop, looked at the fine coffee beans in his hand, and then watched the rent bills loom in his mind. A major war was brewing. Was he really stupid? We stuck to our principles, but ended up suffering while people who didn't care about morality became rich. What meaning did the good we did have? Did it help us pay the rent? Maybe we should try doing what others have done. On the day he almost gave up on his principles, he met Uncle Boone, an old man who owned a successful and highly respected printing business in the province. He happened to stop by his shop for coffee. Uncle Boone didn't talk about business, but admired the calmness and thoughtfulness that lingered in every cup of Samatha's coffee. Their small conversation led to Samatha venting all her frustrations about the seemingly futile good she was doing. Uncle Boone listened intently, and then he smiled a warm, understanding smile. What she was feeling wasn't defeat, but the true test of a virtuous person. A person without the foundation of goodness wouldn't feel this kind of conflict. He would be ready to do evil without hesitation. But her hesitation, still feeling guilty for doing the wrong thing, was the first sign that she was a virtuous person. The sign, uncle? Yes, the sign of a virtuous person has certain characteristics that can be observed, not in material possessions, but in the quality of her heart. Today, I'll try to explain them to you, and you can slowly examine whether you possess these qualities. Let's start with the first, most basic sign, and the one she's currently displaying. Sign 1. Not wanting to harm anyone. Compassion is the first characteristic of a virtuous person. Deep down, he's someone who doesn't want to hurt anyone, even when he's in trouble or being wronged first. He's not happy to see others suffer, just like she hesitated to lower the quality of her coffee to take advantage of customers. That's the symptom of someone with compassion at the foundation of their heart. Everyone gets angry, but when a person is angry, they think of ways to destroy them. They're happy to see their enemies destroyed. But a person with merit, when angry, even if they retaliate, deep down they feel uncomfortable doing so. It's like there's a voice opposing it inside. That voice is the voice of old merit, reminding them that hurting is not the right path and not their true nature. The second and third signs are shame and fear of sin. Hiri and Atapa are fundamental virtues. When there is a fundamental disinclination to harm, this leads to the second and third signs, which are virtues that protect the world and our minds. Hiri and Atapa. Hiri is a sense of shame. It is a sense of disgust for evil, just as we detest rotten things. A person with hiri feels ashamed to do bad things, not because they're afraid others will see, but because they're ashamed of themselves and of their own goodness, just as they feel it's shameful and unacceptable to cheat a customer. Otapa is the fear of the consequences of sin, while Atapa is the fear of the consequences of sin. It's the wisdom that sees that every action has consequences. It's always been like growing chilies. You'll get chilies. You'll never get mangoes. People with Atapa won't dare to do evil, not because of shame, but because they're afraid of the consequences. They're afraid of being born into a bad place. They're afraid of suffering. This foresight comes from understanding the laws of karma. These two things are called Devadhamma, the Dhamma that turns people into angels or noble humans. It's the first layer of protection that blocks us from evil. Her discomfort in doing dishonest things is a sign that she still has this armor protecting her, which is a treasure more valuable than any money. Samatha listened quietly. He had never thought before that this feeling of conflict, the argument and discomfort he thought were weaknesses, were actually signs of his virtue and the protective armor he possessed. For the first time, he felt glad that he was a coward who didn't dare to do evil. After Samatha understood that the discomfort of doing evil was a protective armor that would kill him, he began to see himself more positively. Uncle Boone then explained the signs at a higher level, the signs of a well-polished mind. Now that we have this protective armor, let's look at the quality of the mind within to see if these beautiful qualities are hidden. The next sign is the fourth, which is the best antidote to jealousy. The fourth sign is not being resentful when seeing others succeed. Having a sense of joy. A very clear characteristic of a virtuous person is that when he sees others, whether they are friends or even competitors, succeeding or doing well, deep down he doesn't feel anxious or unable to endure. He might want to be as good as he is, but jealousy, the desire to destroy others' success, is very rare. On the other hand, he can sincerely rejoice or be joyful with the success of others. He can say, "Congratulations," wholeheartedly because his mind desires to see happiness, not suffering, no matter who that happiness brings. Samatha, try asking yourself when you see a shop. When a competitor's coffee shop is full of customers, the first feeling that arises is irritation, jealousy, and the desire to see them fail. Or is it simply a feeling of disappointment in one's own fate? Then, one wonders how one can do as well as they do. If one's heart leans towards the latter, it's a sign that one has a foundation of mudita. Even if it's not perfect, it's a good foundation that prevents one from creating bad karma by destroying the success of others. The fifth sign is the quality of a person with a high and developed mind, gratitude. A person with merit will remember the good deeds others have done for them, no matter how small. They won't be ungrateful and forget about their help after receiving it. He will always look for an opportunity to repay the favor when he has the strength and ability. Gratitude is the root of all virtues. Those who are grateful to their parents will be good children. Those who are grateful to their teachers will be good students. Those who are grateful to benefactors will be good friends and colleagues. On the other hand, an ungrateful person is the most vicious of fools because they cannot even see the goodness that others give them. So how can you expect them to create goodness for the world? The Buddha said that gratitude is the foundation of the earth or the foundation of good people. If gratitude is lacking, other virtues will be difficult to establish. Let's try to examine your heart and see if you still remember those who have. Do you always find opportunities to repay them? The sixth sign is having honesty as a habit, having truth. The sixth sign, which I'm struggling with in my heart right now, is being honest, being sincere with myself and others. A person with merit, by nature, will not like to lie. Telling lies or cheating will create a great deal of guilt and discomfort for him. He may be able to do it, but he will not be happy about it at all, just like you feel when you have to lower the quality of your coffee to deceive customers. Truth is the core of life. A person without truth is like a tree without a core. It may look beautiful on the outside, but inside it is hollow and ready to be cut down at any moment. A person with truth, even at first, it may seem like a disadvantage, it may seem like he is not as smart as others, but in the long run, he will receive the most precious thing in return, which is the trust and respect of people, which is an asset that money cannot buy. If you still uphold your honesty with your customers even though it causes hardship, you are preserving the essence of your life. Do not abandon it under any circumstances, because this is the quality that will lead you to true and lasting success. The conversation between Samatha and Uncle Boone continued in depth. Samatha began to see the value in himself in a way that he had never seen before. When we have a strong foundation of morality, the next sign will be a sign of intellectual growth, a characteristic of those who do not. I'm content with just being a good person, but I also aspire to be a knowledgeable and awakened person. The seventh sign is being a person who is happy and interested in listening to the Dhamma. Most people, when they have free time, spend it on entertainment, watching movies and listening to music. This isn't wrong, but it's a superficial happiness. But people with merit, especially those with wisdom as a natural trait, will feel a thirst for knowledge that is the essence of life. They will find happiness in reading Dhamma books, listening to sermons, or conversing with wise people. Listening to the Dhamma doesn't make them feel bored or sleepy. Instead, it makes them feel awake, joyful, and encouraged. A layperson, as a layperson, chose to come and talk with an elderly person like me here instead of drinking and venting their sorrows with friends. This is one sign that deep down in your heart, you're seeking wisdom, not just pleasure. The eighth sign is that you like to associate with and be close to those who are virtuous. And when you're interested in the Dhamma, the eighth sign will naturally follow. You like to be close to and be close to good people, whether they're monks who practice righteousness or laypeople who are virtuous and upright. Our minds naturally attract the same. People who like to drink alcohol will hang out with drunkards, while gamblers will join gambling circles. Similarly, those with merit and virtue in their hearts will feel comfortable and happy when they're around virtuous people. Their energies are compatible. On the other hand, they won't feel uncomfortable. When he himself had to be in a circle of conversation filled with gossip, harsh speech, or schemes to take advantage of others, he would gradually withdraw from those social circles automatically, not because he disliked them, but because the frequencies of his mind were not in sync. To allow Samatha to see the power of meeting a good person, Uncle Boone told a story during the time of the Buddha about a hunter who had a heart. A hunter had lived his life by killing animals. One day, he followed the tracks of a deer into the deep forest and met the Buddha, who was sitting in meditation under the shade. He was calm and radiant. The first second the hunter saw him, his mind, which was once rough and full of the serpent's spirit, instantly softened. He had never seen a human being so calm and full of compassion. The desire to kill animals disappeared, replaced by devotion and reverence. He threw down his bow and went to pay homage to the Buddha. The Buddha preached to him. In just a few minutes, the hunter, who had never known the Dharma before, saw the Dharma and attained Sotapanna. He asked to be ordained as a Buddhist and finally became an Arahant. Ascetic, you see that just meeting and listening to the Dharma from a true gentleman once can have enough power to change a person's life completely. So, do not hesitate to immerse yourself in the Dharma. Surround yourself with good friends and create auspiciousness that will lead your life to prosperity as quickly as possible. After Samatha heard the signs of the seeker, he began to feel more confident in his own path. He realized that although he was not materially wealthy, he possessed hidden intellectual wealth. Uncle Boone then explained the next group of signs, which indicated inner peace. When our minds begin to gain wisdom, they begin to seek true peace, not peace that comes from escaping problems, but peace that comes from understanding nature. This is the next group of signs indicating that your mind is beginning to cool down. Sign 9. Happiness and peace when surrounded by nature. One characteristic of a virtuous person is that they feel connected and happy when surrounded by nature. The sound of a stream, the smell of the earth after rain, or watching the sunrise can surprisingly calm and relax their minds. Why is this so? Because nature is the best teacher of the truth of the three characteristics. When we see a flower blooming and falling, we learn about impermanence. When we see a large tree that withstands a storm, we learn about suffering, or the difficulty of enduring. When we see a river that flows without returning, we learn about anatta, or the absence of self. In reality, the mind of a virtuous person who has accumulated wisdom can read these languages of nature and automatically experience sorrow and detachment. Loving nature is not simply a matter of taste, but a sign that our mind yearns to return to simple, unadorned reality. The 10th sign is one who possesses great patience and the virtue of patience. When we understand the laws of nature, the virtue that follows is patience, or endurance, which is a very clear sign of a developed mind. A virtuous person may suffer when faced with problems or obstacles, but they do not easily become upset or give up. They have an amazing ability to endure difficult situations. It's not because he's stronger than others, but because he has the wisdom to understand that this too shall pass, just as a storm doesn't blow all day and night. A person with patience can endure the harsh words of others without suffering, because he knows they're just empty words. He can also endure his own desires, not acting on his desires or fleeting anger. Patience is like a muscle of the mind. A person with patience has a strong mind, ready to face all the tests of life. Let's examine whether, in the most difficult times, you still stand and persevere. If so, that is the merit you have accumulated. The conversation between Samatha and Uncle Boone. The next step is to deeply understand the humility and self-worth he has never seen before. The final sign we will discuss today is a sign of beauty and balance of mind, a virtue that allows people to live happily and gracefully in the world. The 11th sign is someone who is happy to give and share. We have already talked about kindness, but this sign is an expression of kindness. It is a person who is generous or ready to sacrifice and share what they have with others according to their ability without causing hardship. A person with merit, even if not rich, will be happier giving than receiving. They may give money, things, knowledge, or even give him smiles and encouragement because he is happy to see others escape from suffering, not because he expects anything in return. Giving is his nature, like the sun that gives light without ever asking for anything. The 12th sign is being humble or having navata. The 12th sign is being a person with navata, which means being humble, not arrogant, and not boasting about one's knowledge or abilities. The more knowledge or virtue a person has, the more humble he will be, like a rice stalk. The fuller the grains, the lower it will bend. He is ready to listen to the opinions of others, even those who are inferior to him. He is ready to admit his own mistakes and apologize without resisting his weakness. Humility is true charm. It makes a person lovable, approachable, and ready to receive support and further knowledge from those around them. On the other hand, arrogance is a wall that blocks us from all goodness and prosperity. A very important sign in this era is solitude, which is contentment with what one has according to one's circumstances. A virtuous person can be happy with their present life without waiting for more or better. They don't stop developing, but they don't let desires destroy their present happiness. When they eat, they enjoy the taste of the rice without thinking why they don't eat as luxurious as others. When they look at their small house, they enjoy the warmth without feeling resentful of not living in a large mansion. Solitude is the art of finding happiness in the simplest and most ordinary things. A virtuous person is a true millionaire because no matter how much money they have, they are always rich and content. Meanwhile, a person who is never content, even with billions of baht, remains a beggar at heart, endlessly chasing happiness. After Samatha listened to Uncle Boon's map of the 10+ meritorious qualities, he felt like he was exploring his own inner realm for the first time in his life. He had never considered these qualities as merit before. He had always considered not daring to cheat as a virtue. Stupidity, dislike of gossip, lack of timeliness, contentment with what one has, lack of ambition. But now his perspective has completely changed. He realizes that what he once thought were weaknesses are actually treasures, the valuable merit he has accumulated over lifetimes, something that money cannot buy. We see the image of Samatha returning to his coffee shop. The old Samatha probably looks at the quiet shop with dejection and compares it to other shops. But the new Samatha looks at the fine coffee beans in his hand and feels proud of his own truth. He looks at the regular customers who are already seated and feels grateful for their continued support. He also looks at the competitor's shop with a heart full of appreciation for their continued support. His success was without envy. He still faced financial problems, but his heart was no longer troubled as before because he had discovered an inalienable wealth within him, the goodness and virtue within his own heart. Samatha didn't change his business strategy, but he did change the energy he radiated. He still brewed the same cup of coffee, but now it was brewed with kindness and happiness. He still talked to customers, but now his words were filled with sincerity. When people asked for help, he gave as much as he could with a light heart. Miraculously, as his inner world changed, the outside world began to respond. Customers began to feel the positive energy in his shop. They didn't come just for the coffee, but for the good feeling. They started to spread the word, and the small coffee shop of a good person began to become well known, not through marketing, but through the power of morality that naturally spread. Samatha learned that true victory lies not in defeating others, but in maintaining the goodness within one's own heart, even on days when the outside world is unfavorable. Samatha's story offers us all a large mirror to look back at our own hearts. In a world that measures a person's worth based on external success, we may overlook the simple goodness within our own hearts. We may feel inferior, not as talented, rich, or successful as others, leading to feelings of inferiority. But one day now, I'd like you to examine yourself again. Are you one of those people who dislikes harming others and feels uncomfortable telling lies? Are you one of those people who can sincerely rejoice when they see others doing well? Are you one of those people who still remember the kindness of those who have helped you? Are you one of those people who find happiness in the little things and are content with your simple life? If the answer is yes, even just one, please rejoice and be proud of yourself. This is a clear sign that you are a person of merit, a person who has definitely built on goodness. Don't let the values of the outside world undermine your true value. Don't be discouraged in maintaining this goodness, even though you may sometimes seem like a loser in the eyes of others. Because these merits and virtues are a shield that protects you from danger, a light that guides you from going astray, and a true treasure that will follow you through every life. It's something that money or worldly success cannot provide. This is the awakening of the true giant, awakening your goodness and pride in your own virtues, allowing you to move forward gracefully on this world as a person of merit. Thank you for listening. May you all discover and appreciate the treasure of goodness within your hearts. See you again. Goodbye.